Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Feeling Things. I'm Amy.
And I'm Kat.
And here we are. It is the final Horseman.
The final Horseman.
There's 4 horsemen. We're galloping in. I don't know why every time I tell you when we talk about this, like I see them riding in on their horses because today's horse is Stonewalling.
And he's riding in without saying a word.
No, he's just, and it doesn't have to be a he. Women can stonewall.
Yeah,
Kat
but it most likely is a he.
But you told me that you stonewall, and I was a little bit shocked.
Mm-hmm.
But you were saying, you were like, it's kind of crazy because Dr. Gottman says that what percentage of men do this?
Well, stonewallers are 80% male.
Okay.
From his
Research.
findings, yeah. But it doesn't mean that obviously 20%. And that statistic, I think, might waver a little bit. But it shocks you because I'm a girl or because you know me?
I have not experienced stonewalling from you, so I don't know if this is something you reserve just for your man. Inside
just
your home.
Special for him.
Just something you like to do to your lover.
Yeah.
But so we'll get into stonewalling. But before we do that, you've got our feeling of the day, or your feeling of the day. I guess
it could be yours. You can by osmosis.
Well, what's your feeling? And I'll tell you.
I'm feeling playful.
I could get on board with that.
And I need you to get on board with that because I have an activity for us.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the gift of your playfulness is that we have an activity?
Yes, and everybody can participate.
Okay.
This is going to be a gift to you because you can take this out into the world with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just scrolling Instagram one day, and I think because we talk about conversation cards a lot, maybe I get sometimes these reels or things that are just like questions to ask your partner or anybody, I think. This comes from Flamingo App Reels is the Instagram account. If you go to their account, there's tons of different options of this. But I was scrolling one day and I was about to go, me and Patrick were going to dinner that night. So I saved it and we did it as an activity for dinner. And it was just 7 fun, ridiculous questions to ask your partner. But we did them and I was like, you could do this with, you could ask, it doesn't have to be your partner. Some of them, it would be kind of weird to ask
your
friend.
Podcast partner.
Yes. So yeah. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'll do this with Amy. It's a little, sometimes you have to think. So I don't want you to feel pressure to like rapid fire answer these, but I thought we could do them together.
Okay. So you're going to answer them as well.
Yeah, but it's kind of cheating because I've had time to think about it.
It's fine.
Okay. And I'm going to share something that kind of has to do with stonewalling in one of Patrick's answers.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready? 7 questions.
I'm ready. You know what? I was thinking if like you're feeling playful and you don't lean into it, you miss out on fun stuff like this.
Yeah. What if you were like, I don't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then not just you miss out, everybody misses out.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like when you don't pay attention to your playfulness. So,
but sometimes you're not feeling it. So I get that too.
Right.
If you need time for one of these questions, you can say pass and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Or if you need, I can answer first. It might jumpstart you.
Okay. Just go for it.
If I disappeared for 24 hours, where's the first place you would look for me?
Well, so you're not at your house, obviously, right? Because then you wouldn't be disappeared. I'm just thinking, like, if I not heard from you for 24 hours, because then I'd be like,
if it was like, Cat's missing for 24 hours.
I would check your parents' house.
Am I there a lot?
Well,
you're thinking like really logically, are you?
Okay, yeah. But you're not at your office, probably. Okay, where?
I think the point of this question is like,
am I not being playful?
I think you're trying to solve a crime right now.
Okay.
And it's hypothetical. Patrick said he would look for me in the bed because I always want to go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm in the bed at 8:00 at night. Okay. So he was like, you'll be in bed.
Cute.
I said for you, you'd be on a walk.
Me?
Yeah.
For me. Okay.
I would look for you at the place that you walk that I don't want to say out loud because
I'm there all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. I get it now. So I'd look for you in bed.
Are you having fun?
Yes. I guess now that I get the idea of it, I would say that but y'all moved, so this wouldn't be you anymore. But if y'all still lived kind of in the area that you lived in, well, I'd look for you maybe somewhere, one of those places near there where you can like go and drink and play games.
Okay. That's a really good answer.
Yeah, like card games and stuff.
Okay, so at any bar.
Well, there's like food and stuff too.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
There's like sports on during the day.
Yeah. Okay, that's a really
not
good
because
answer.
you have a drinking problem.
I wasn't thinking that, but okay.
Okay. Well,
Like, I get it.
We might have a new listener, and they're
That's
like,
she's
so
always
look
at the
for
bar?
at the bar. Yeah.
And most of the time when I'm at the bar, I'm playing cards. Okay, number 2. If I got arrested, what crime would you assume I committed? I can answer first.
You go first.
I said accidentally stealing something if you didn't ring it up at a self-checkout. And my reasoning is you are very lawful. I don't know if that's the right word, but you follow the law.
The law.
I think you're like me in that
Except
regard.
for I'm driving with an expired license right now. So I'd probably go to jail for that.
Okay.
Like I'm way expired.
So you don't have a real ID?
No.
So I guess you're using your passport to fly.
Like I'm so expired that I am going to have to take the driver's test to get my license.
No. No.
Yeah.
How expired is that?
It's expired enough. Like a few months.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, February. Well,
You have to retake your license?
I get that it expired in February, but my
Shannon just called you out.
Okay. No, but I'm clarifying it expires and then you have some time to renew it without having to take the test.
And
Yes, and I that's what I'm saying. I've just missed.
Amy,
I'm
you
not
have
that
to-
far out from my period where I have to take the test.
you have to get in the car with a stranger and do like,
Oh, I think it's a written test. I don't think I have to do
what do you mean a written test?
I have to do the written test, not a test.
Okay.
if I have to do that, that's fine. I'll be good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that doesn't scare me.
I was so nervous about my driving test. My mom had to, most kids are like, when they turn 16, they're like, Mom, let's go. My mom had to like surprise me one day and be like, we're going to take the driver's test because I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I probably would just be like, I can't drive anymore.
So I'm thinking like there was injustice somewhere and you like, I don't know, you did something
To
for
try
that,
to right a wrong?
right a wrong and ended up in jail.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if you're protesting something or like you feel
Interesting.
that's like,
Okay.
obviously you can legally protest, but something goes terribly wrong and you end up in jail for it.
And it's a
Like
big
you're
misunderstanding.
It's a huge misunderstanding, but you were just trying like
To help. Okay.
and ended up in jail
That's interesting.
because you like for there to be justice.
Yeah. I have been getting scam calls that like there's a warrant out for my arrest. Yeah.
Okay. What? Oh.
Kat just said her brother got those calls and he almost gave him $3,000. Okay, well, I don't answer my phone a lot, so I just listened to the voicemail and then I Googled it and I saw that it was happening to other people. So I just was like, okay. Okay. When I'm mad, which cartoon character do I act most like?
Okay, you go first.
Okay. This was hard. I had to literally Google what are cartoon characters that get mad. And this one didn't come up in that, but I did see it and it reminded me of you. I'm going to say Mulan. The reason is, one, I just really like Mulan, but when she gets mad, she uses that to do something good and drive her. I feel like when you get mad, you get like, oh, I'm going to do this anyway, or not like break the law, but I'm going to prove them wrong, or I'm going to fight for myself. And I feel like that's Mulan, and that's you.
Okay, I have a confession. I have not ever seen that. Mulan. But I don't.
Wait, you're not familiar with this?
I know Mulan, but I have never seen it.
Let's get down to business.
No.
The Huns. Oh, Christina Aguilera. That I see staring straight back at me. Houston's gonna take this out.
Don't cut
Oh
out.
my
No, I like that you
gosh.
just sang that. Houston, leave it in. That was cute.
You've not seen Mulan?
No, I
oh
haven't
my
seen
gosh,
Mulan.
that was my favorite Disney movie. Okay, that is homework. You've got to watch it.
Are you kidding me? I've assigned Pretty Woman to you like 500 times and you've never watched.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, fine. You watch Pretty Woman.
By when?
I'll watch
in 2
Mulan.
weeks. You have 2 weeks.
We have 2 weeks to watch it.
Because
Okay.
you got to focus on your driving test first.
Yeah.
Okay. You can take time to think about that, but I will tell you Patrick's answer.
Okay.
He said, which I thought was so creative of him. He also watched a lot of cartoons growing up. He said Tom and Jerry because you get really quiet when you get mad, which Stonewalling. When I get upset,
Oh.
I become very quiet. And Tom and Jerry is silent, I think was his point in that.
Okay.
So I was like, Patrick, that was very introspective.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know.
And you know me so well.
I mean, I'm trying to think of like cartoon characters, and I don't know that I'm gonna be able to answer this one.
That's okay. I took a lot of time for that one. So I'll give you a pass.
I second what Patrick said.
Okay.
Stonewaller.
Okay. Number 4, if we swap lives for a day, what's the first thing you'd struggle with?
Oh, okay. Oh, I just thought of something I can't say.
Well, you can say that. Just don't say, no, just you can say that, just don't say what it is. You can just say something that I can't say.
Well, something that I can't say, but that's not very fun for our listeners.
That's very true, and we're being playful.
Yeah, we're being playful. So something we can talk about one day. We're not trying to be total secret, but it would be that. And then, well, I was going to say your job, like being a therapist and having to like, you know,
I think you'd like
give people advice, but I think I'd kind of like it.
Like it.
But then what if I mess up and I give them the wrong advice? That would be bad.
Well, you're not really giving people advice.
That's true. They have to come up with their own conclusion.
Yeah.
I know. But if I guide them or do say something wrong, like I would just feel very stressed about that. Or like taking on all of their emotions and things they have going on. Like that's got to be a lot for you and all the therapists out there. So shout out. All the different home cooked meals that you do. They're stressful because y'all are like, yay, we're going to do homemade pasta tonight, which
we did on Saturday.
Yeah. Which isn't that hard because you taught me on one of our cooking episodes, but y'all tackle and take on new little things like that, you know.
Yeah. I said managing the balance between managing your kids and your work and like making everything happen.
Okay. Nails. If I were you, I'd be nervous about
keeping up with your nails.
Yeah.
Well, they're breaking right now. If you saw me yelling at somebody in the street, what do you think I'd be losing my cool over?
Okay, what'd you put for me?
This is why I thought that your illegal one was interesting because I said I feel like you'd be like sticking up for somebody and you'd be yelling at somebody else because like somebody did something to somebody else. So you wouldn't even be involved. Like let's say like somebody hit somebody else's car and then try to run away. You'd be like, hey, you get back here. You hit their car or something like that. Or if somebody was like mean to kids, you'd be like, careful.
As long as I knew they weren't going to retaliate, then I probably would do it. But my kids' bikes were stolen once and I ran into the kids at the park and I went after them and was like, hey, it was my kids' bikes. Like Stevenson had this little, he was like 7. He had this tiny bike that was red with like fire flames on it. And this like 14-year-old kid was on this tiny bike.
Did you get it?
The person next to him was on Stashira's kind of girly bike. And they had been stolen out of our garage like a week or two before. And it was the Nashville Marathon. And we were down at a park watching because like Mike D from the Bobby Bone Show was racing. And so we went to watch him. And it was me and my husband at the time and the kids. And there was tons of people around. So I think that's why I wasn't scared to go up to them. And I went up and I said, where did you get those bikes? And they knew they were busted and they were like, oh, we got them from our cousin or something. And I'm like, but you know those aren't your bikes, right? Because like, look, like y'all are teenage boys and do you see that little boy and that little girl over there? Those are their bikes. And I think you know exactly where they came from. And
yes, Amy.
And I said, and I think the right thing to do would be to give them back. They want their bikes. Like they would have ridden their bikes down here to watch this race, but we walked.
They went in your garage?
Mm-hmm, and they stole them. And because that was when we lived in East Nashville and our garage was in an alley. And we probably had the garage
door
open maybe or something. But during the day, I don't know. I just know that the bikes were missing. And then saw them at the park and went up to them. But then a police officer, and maybe this is what also made my fear of retaliation heightened because I was able to do it at the time. But there was, like I said, it was a marathon. There was tons of people around. But a police officer was, I don't know, doing traffic when we were walking back, like he was helping escort cars. And I stopped him and I said, hey. And then he looked at me and he was like, wait a second, are you Amy from the Bobby Bone Show? And I said, yes. And I said, okay, thank you for being a listener. Like this makes me feel better about telling you the story. But I just saw these 2 kids and they were on my kids' bikes. And I went up to them and said, you need to give them back. and they were stolen from our garage a couple weeks ago. And he said, well, I think that's great that you got the bikes back. He's like, we've had to up the number of police in this area because of juvenile crime and other activity where they could be armed and dangerous. And so he's like, while it worked out for you, I would highly recommend never going up to these kids, even though they look like 14, 15, 16. They could be carrying a weapon and decide to pull it on you. He's like, I'm just letting you know that we have upped our police presence over here specifically because of that. So don't be so quick to go up to these kids and demand your bikes back. And I was like, oh, yes, sir, no problem.
Good to know.
Good to know. And so that was probably, I don't know, 2018, 2019 or something.
Oh, okay. That's a long time ago.
Got them back. But I do have this major fear of retaliation.
Well, yeah.
So I would only get involved. There's something I heard about someone in town that did something really shady recently. They're kind of well known. I don't want to say exactly because I don't know how public all the details are, but I will say that I have played over in my mind probably about 5 times if I were to ever run into him, like just being like, what? You're not a good person. Like that's how passionately I felt about it. My boyfriend told me I was overreacting a little bit and I said, I don't think I am.
But you're worried about them retaliating?
No, I don't think he would retaliate. That's why I feel okay being like,
oh, okay.
But I don't think I would actually ever say that to someone anyways, but I pictured myself doing it.
It's satisfying to like imagine
that
Yeah.
icky to me. Like what he did is so icky and doesn't make sense. It's such a power trip. It's like using your power, money, and influence to like where it doesn't belong.
I can't wait to hear about this.
Like
later.
a total butthead move just because you have money and power that impacts someone's life and their livelihood, but because you disagreed with something, like it shouldn't have, it's sort of political, but it shouldn't have gotten in the way of anything. And it just really made me bummed because like do better. Like we need to do better. Like you have children. Like why? It just made me, ugh.
Okay, so you would go. That's what I would find you in the parking lot doing.
Maybe if I see him,
telling them
picture me running into that guy
like,
and being
do
like,
better.
Hey, no, it'd more be like, I don't even think I would be like super judgy. I would just be like confused. Like, seriously? Like what? Where did this go wrong? When did you become the person?
Help me understand.
Yeah, help me understand. Because like,
Walk
this
me
is
through
not
this.
cool.
Okay.
This is not cool.
Yeah. Okay.
So there you have it. I feel like this game is long.
We're almost done. Are you not having a playful fun time?
SIB.
Okay. We'd have 2 more, and they're very quick. If we were in, oh my gosh. I just have to say this. You just said, that's not cool. On my thing, I said I would see you talking to somebody saying, hey, that's not cool.
Oh, you quoted me.
Yeah.
Okay. See, but I don't know if I answered, but I think that that's what you would be doing too.
I would be probably, well, remember that one time I got in the fight with a lady in the parking lot and you were like, don't do that, Catherine. She could have a gun on her.
Yes. See?
I like, what is it called when you like stake out? I wouldn't move because she was trying to steal my parking spot and she was trying to make me move. And then she was pretending like she was going to hit my car. And I was like, hit it. And then you were like, Catherine, don't do that.
No,
yeah.
She could have a gun.
Okay. Anyway, if we were in a zombie apocalypse, would I be the comic relief group leader or the one who screams first?
Comic relief group leader or the one that screams first? No offense, but I don't see you leading us. You probably would be the comedic relief. Or what's the next one?
The one who screams first.
Yeah, you're screaming. You're screaming first.
I was thinking you would be the comic relief.
Yeah, I'm not the leader either.
Okay, and then last one. If I had a fan club, what would they call themselves? Yours was easy.
Oh, the kitty cats.
Yeah. And then yours would be the brownies.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Fun game.
Fun game. To bring us to a not so fun topic.
Stonewalling.
So quick recap. We're on the fourth Horseman. We've had 3. So the first one was
criticism.
And the antidote to that was
to not criticize.
the gentle startup. The second one was
sorry, I feel like
I'm giving you a pop quiz.
Frazzled. Yeah.
I'll help you. The second one was
defensiveness.
And the antidote was
Don't be so defensive.
To accept responsibility.
Yeah.
And the third one was
Contempt.
and the antidote was
Stop
This one's
acting
hard.
with contempt. You see with all three of them, I'm just like repeating it back.
yeah, it's to foster culture of appreciation.
Yes, that's right.
That's a hard one. And then the fourth one is
Stonewalling.
Stonewalling. Okay. We already said stonewalling. These are just some fun facts. 80% of the time it's men. And I actually want to ask you this before I give you any information, because I think this one is very, it's confused. So when you think of stonewalling, you've heard of this word before. What do you think stonewalling is, and why do you think people do it?
Silent treatment
Okay.
is how I picture it. And I think they do it because that's their way of controlling the situation.
Okay. So it's like this like active, very much manipulative.
Yeah, because
Okay.
then my experience with people that give the silent treatment, or when I have, is like you send the other person into this like, what have I done? Panic, or they may try to start fixing it. And then you feel like, oh, I have all this control. Look, they're wanting to talk to me, but I'm just going to
Okay.
keep not talking. But
Okay.
I don't know.
I think people do that. But when we're talking about stonewalling here, it comes last, and it's usually talked about last because it usually comes after a buildup of emotion. And it happens when you feel overwhelmed and this flooding experience happens. And one of the predictors for stonewalling is just a high heart rate, like over 100. So it's not so much this active choice that like, I'm going to stop talking to manipulate you. It oftentimes is more a reaction to, sometimes subconscious, I'm going to not say anything because I don't know what to say, or because I think I'm making it worse. And if I just am quiet, then maybe things will get better. And what happens a lot of times is that makes people even more mad.
Okay.
So if I'm silent towards you, that escalates you
Right.
versus calms you down, right?
Yes.
Okay. This happens when somebody gets flooded. So after you've been in a conflict and you're feeling flooded, then you kind of have this reaction to you don't know what to do. It's like physiologically you're in this fight or flight. When you're in fight or flight, what happens to you?
Well, I'm much more reactive. I mean, it depends.
Yeah.
But I'm not thinking logically, and I'm not very rational.
Yeah. Well, because a part of your brain is shut off.
Right.
So like the logical part of your brain is not working. It's thinking survival. How do I survive? And when you're in actual danger, that's really helpful because it will help you get to wherever you need to go, whether you need to run, whether you need to freeze and play dead, whatever. But in this scenario, you're not actually in physical danger. So your body is sending you sensations that aren't actually matching up with the reality of your physical safety. But when we are feeling flooded, we can't think and have a rational conversation. Therefore, the next that's not logical step is I'm just going to shut down.
Yep. Okay.
So that is what stonewalling is versus silent treatment. When I think of silent treatment, I think of what you were saying where I honestly think of myself when I was like in middle school. I don't know what our friend group's deal was, and maybe it was just me, but I loved to get mad at somebody and then be like, I'm not talking to so-and-so. And then 2 weeks would go by and I would just ignore them. And then I would forget why I was mad. That's just manipulating, because maybe if I stop talking to you, you'll apologize for what you did. But then at the end of the day, I don't even remember.
Well, so how do you know the difference if someone is stonewalling or silent treatmenting you?
Well, I think you mean like, how do I know as the person that it's happening to?
Yes.
So I think in these scenarios, it's just good to know this because it happens at the point of like, we've gone too far. Does that make sense?
Right.
This isn't just like something happens, you say something, and then all of a sudden I just like decide to give you the silent treatment.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening in an argument that we're having or a conflict that we're having, and then I end up shutting down. And you might not always know, but you can always check in like, hey, are you feeling overwhelmed? And a lot of times this happens, people will busy themselves. So I won't even be meaning to just not talk, but we'll be having an argument and all of a sudden I'll start doing the dishes. And you know what I mean? And it will look like I'm not paying attention to you, but really I'm overwhelmed and I need some kind of escape and I don't know how to ask for it.
So out of all 4 of these, this one I feel like I'm actually having like compassion for. Maybe I should have it for all of them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because everybody has their own things, but this one now I'm starting to feel like, oh, like if someone is stonewalling, I'm less like, I want to know more of like, what happened to you that's
You're
making
just
you.
shut down. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, surely maybe something happened to make you become a stonewaller. Or is that the
Yeah.
natural?
Both.
Okay.
I think it can be both. I was telling you earlier, I was because again, you wouldn't assume that I would be prone to this behavior, but I am.
I was shocked to hear you say that you're a stonewaller and that Patrick made you the cartoon character
Tom and
that
Jerry
goes silent.
So in a previous relationship, something that would happen is we would get in these arguments and I would feel very confused. And I eventually realized that like, if I agree with this person, I'm still getting yelled at. If I stand up for myself and I disagree, like I'm getting yelled at. And so I felt stuck and I would literally feel like I'm trapped. Like I don't know how to get out of this. I want to just shut down. So I would just stop talking. And then that would piss them off even more. But I learned to do that because I became so over. There was nowhere else for me to go. I had no options. And so that was not like a healthy behavior for me to do. But when you're in an unhealthy relationship, you can't really be. There's no.
So you're coping.
Yes. If the other person isn't willing to like hear you out on that, then you don't really have anywhere to go other than like, let's get out of the relationship. So now I'm in a healthy relationship. I still know that I get kind of flustered in some of those conflict moments that we have, or I know that I've now have, it takes me longer to figure out what I want to say sometimes in high conflict situations in our relationship. So rather than shut down, because that's became like just part of what I did, a habit, I will say, I need a second. I will say, hey, I'm not talking to you. I'm going to respond to what you just said. I need a second to think about what I want to say and how I want to say it.
So is that the antidote?
Well,
Pausing.
so the antidote.
Pause.
The antidote actually is pause. The antidote is to self-soothe. So it's to essentially take a break and self-soothe. And so if you find yourself wanting to go, so that what I was doing wasn't exactly the antidote, but it's, I mean, in tandem with it. Where like I need space and time. And that's really just me communicating with my partner. Hey, I'm still here in this conversation. So with the antidote, self-soothe, what is really recommended to do is let's take a break. So you say, if we're in this conflict and I notice that I want to shut down, hey, I'm noticing that I'm getting really overwhelmed and I really want to talk about this and I want to figure this out. So the best thing for me would be to take a break, calm down, and then let's come back in 20 minutes and finish this conversation. And then if the person says, oh, I'm not taking a break, we're figuring this out now, you can still take the break. I would say
they're on their own horse. It's just different.
Yeah, you can still say, well, I need the break. So I'm going to still go and I'm going to go fold the laundry upstairs and then I'll meet you back down here. And then they're kind of forced to take that and hopefully they do self-soothe. And then you just go do something. It could be anything. It could be just going and doing breathing exercises. It can be just taking a little walk. It could be listening to a calming song. It could be your ice roller. It could be folding the laundry or cleaning something. But anything that helps regulate you, because in that moment, there's that feeling of deep overwhelm, trapped, panic, and you're never going to solve a problem well when those things are involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, okay. I guess for the longest time, if I had heard stonewalling, which I never have done a deep dive into the Four Horsemen, so I've learned a lot. But stonewalling, I always thought was literally just silent treatment. It was more of, like you said, a manipulative tactic, and it's not at all. Like when
it's
you're doing
like
that's probably why I was so shocked that you reacted that way, because I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's more. It's a maladaptive
now that you're
explaining
strategy. It makes sense that you do that.
Yeah. And so if you do this, I mean, if you do any of these things, don't be too hard on yourself. There is a way out, and that's why we're talking about them. There is something else you can do. And like any feeling, if I'm using these behaviors, that means that there's a need that's not being met,
Yeah, and if you haven't listened to the other 4 episodes, the little pop quiz recap we gave a minute ago of the, Horseman and the antidote, that was not fully, like, go listen to the episodes because you'll hear more insight, or go to the Gottman Institute's website. There's so many resources there, because I do see how it would be so helpful to know, like, how you show up in your relationship and how your partner's showing up if y'all are riding in on these horses at any time.
Yeah. And if you notice yourself, if you don't normally act like this in conflict and you notice yourself using one of these communication strategies, that's a signal or a sign for you that, like, hey, something's up. Like, it might not be about the relationship. It might really just be about me. If I'm really overwhelmed in general in my life or in any other area, and then I come and we have some kind of conflict and I already feel like I'm up here, I might stonewall just because I've shut down because other things are in the way. So it doesn't always mean there's something wrong with your relationship that needs to be fixed or repaired. It sometimes can be like, there's something that I need and I'm bringing this into our relationship and I don't want to do that.
Good point. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So this one's pretty simple, but yeah, stonewalling. We don't want to do it. Sometimes it happens. Thank you, John Gottman.
Thank you, John Gottman, for the Four Horsemen. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of, like, entering about a year into my relationship, like being in a less chaotic type relationship, like how we go over this stuff, how if there ever is, like, I'll call it drama, but it doesn't have to be.
Conflict.
Okay, conflict.
Conflict is I think people have a weird relationship to the word conflict. Like we said in the first episode, conflict is good to have in a relationship. We need conflict in a relationship, and no relationship, if it's healthy, it's going to have it. So it's not about not having conflict. It's about how we manage it.
You're right. I know this. I know conflict is good.
You're like,
in relationships. I know. And I know that we have had some healthy conflict, but when I think of, like, I think I'm the one that brings majority of it. Like, I don't know how to say this. That's why I'm struggling with my words, because I'm not trying to, like, put it on me. But, like, he's so, like I was looking at him the other day. Like, we were driving in the car or something, and I was, like, looking at him, and I was like, he's just so, like, why is he so easy?
Well,
like, why is he so...
What's his Enneagram number?
Chill. He doesn't know, because he's like, I'm not really my thing.
He's literally Patrick.
I think, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I also had this thought when you said something about Patrick the other day. I almost texted you, but then I was like, this is about you and Patrick right now, so I don't want to make it about me and Alex at all. Oh, so I didn't text it. Oh, you texted something about Patrick, about how you could almost cry right now at how great he's been to you through some stuff.
Yeah.
And so I replied back, like, oh, da, da, da. But in my mind, I also had a thought of, like, I kind of had this feeling of, that's how I feel about Alex. And it's weird. And then I was like, Alex and Big P are samesies. Yeah. But I didn't want to bring Alex into the mix, because it was like,
that would have been okay. But
well, I know, but I didn't need to make that about. But I do think that they are very similar.
They're both very steady, even, low. There's not a lot of chaos.
Yes, simple.
They're easy to get along with.
Clear, like, yes, like,
everybody loves them.
Yeah. I told you before, sometimes I poke for the drama, and then he doesn't take the bait. Even sometimes I'm not even really poking. Like, I'm just like, well, surely this, like, I'll say it. It's not like I think before it's going to ruffle feathers. I'll say it, and then there will be kind of like nothing. And I'm like, I thought that would, you would think that would ruffle a little bit, but, like, look at him. But it's not, he's not shallow. Or
no, he's not easily
a deep thinker. Yeah. It's not that he's, like, not involved or engaged and he's just, like, tuning me out. That's not it at all, because there could be that type of relationship, Yeah. I dated that one guy a little bit. Like, how did we describe him? Sort of just like aloof and, like, not very deep.
Surface,
yeah, just sort of.
Yeah.
So it's not that, because he's also deep. Anyway, it's just an interesting.
That you bring most of that. Well, I'll speak for my relationships. I don't totally know, but what I do know with Patrick is he's so adaptable and he truly doesn't care about a lot of stuff. He's a 9. And so he's, I will say for him, I'm going to speak for him. Sorry, Patrick, you're not going to hear this anyway. He has learned to just like go with the flow in so many areas of his life that like he really truly feels fine about a lot of stuff versus am not that way. I have stronger emotions about things. So I'm more likely to bring something because I'm more likely to have a strong feeling versus like I'm dramatic and problematic and he's not. He doesn't get activated in that way because of how he's learned to deal with conflict in his past or just things in general. But one thing that gets us in trouble is I don't like try to like start fights with him out of nothing, but I'll like ask a random question and like pretend that I like to get mad and then he won't respond the way I want him to. And then I'll really get upset.
Yeah.
Like, and
You've admitted to that before.
And he's like, Catherine, I'm not doing this because
yeah.
you're going to get mad. And this is about like, if you were a worm or not, like you're not going to be a worm. Or it was one time I asked if I turned into a dog, would he remarry? And he said, yes, but I'd keep you as my pet.
And then you got really mad at that?
Really upset.
That sounds like a trap.
Right. 100%. But like, he can be more jovial in those things where like I start to think about them more deeply and then I'm like, wait, what does this mean? And then I'm like, wait, well, I don't even care.
Yeah.
So we've learned to like, don't do that.
Well, thank you for sharing some of that because I think it helps give me a perspective of I am a more emotional person than he is.
You're more,
so I'm bringing more of that emotion to the table. And then I don't know, maybe in what certain things he's been through in life and like losing his wife, he has like perspective on like what really matters and he's not going to like waste time on.
Well, you're also thinking about things in different ways. So like when something happens for me, I have this feeling and it's connected to this, but like he's having this feeling and it's connected to this. So like, that's why a lot of times it's not about what you're fighting about. It's about what that's connected to and what's really underneath that. Mm-hmm. Because if this is underneath the trash for me, but this is what's underneath the trash for him, no wonder I'm upset. And he's like, who cares?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why I just went rogue there for a second, but I was thinking of all the Four Horsemen and I'm like, okay, I've seen myself show up ride in on these horses. And I'm like, what horses has he ridden in on yet besides the steadfast horse?
We need that one.
We need that one. So I'm thankful for it. All right. Well, there you go. The Four Horsemen.
And let that also be a lesson of compatibility for you. That like we need, how should I say this? I think we talked about this recently. It's not about people being good or bad or people being, they're too chaotic and they need to work on this and they need to whatever. It's finding partners that are compatible, finding partners that he compliments you.
Yes.
So if I was married to somebody who's just like me, our relationship would be so chaotic. But Patrick brings me down while I help ruffle him up a little bit. Like I help him feel more deeply and he helps me kind of like chill out sometimes. Yeah. So compatibility. It's not one person is messy and one person is good.
And one final note about that too is if you're used to a little bit of chaos, which I've talked about this before, when you meet someone that might be more compatible for you, sometimes it might seem a little boring.
Like, come on.
And you have to push past that.
Yeah.
And that could be a whole nother thing. But it's like, don't throw in the towel right away. Because I think I probably could have done that with him because your nervous system is used to something different. Yeah. And so you get to just see if you're going to alter and adapt and calm down and then be like, oh, wait a second. Boring is actually awesome. Because it doesn't mean like he's boring. I'm talking about the feeling in the relationship feels meh.
And then eventually
it feels exciting.
Anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're like grateful for it. And you're like, wow, who knew? Okay. That's a wrap. Right?
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope you have the day.
You need to have.
Bye.
Bye.